So the projects continue. I've got a fair amount of offcuts of MDF from building the cabinet, and I've obviously got the marquee that was part of the vinyl kit I bought for the cabinet, which obviously doesn't fit on my cabinet, so I want to make a light box with it. So I've bought myself a piece of perspex, plain like clear perspex, and I've stuck my marquee to it. So as you can see, I've got my marquee on a piece of perspex. So hunky dory, but obviously we need it illuminated, don't we? So I've got to make myself a light box out of all these offcuts. So that's what I've been doing, or that's what I'm in the process of doing at the moment. Never done it before. I watched a couple of videos online about it. Seems fairly straightforward. How hard can it be? So what I've done is I've cut a backboard the exact same size as the marquee, so the box is then exactly the same shape as the marquee. And then I've just built up some sides to match the size of the backboard. So in effect we've now got a box which is the exact same size as the marquee. And so we've got the basis of our light box. As you can see, I've drilled a hole in the side to put the wire through, but theoretically that's all there is to it really. So as you can see, it's all fixed together now, fairly basic. I've just used angle brackets to hold the sides onto the backboard, and you know, it's solid as a rock, but I mean it don't need to be. And then we've bought an LED light strip, a 5 metre one this was, and it's just filled the box nicely really. I was going to paint the inside of the box white, because that, you know, the videos I'd watched had sort of suggested that was a good idea to reflect the light. And I'd also thought about lining it with like tin foil, like for reflective properties. But to be honest, after I've put the light strip in and I've tested it, I don't think it needs it. It's more than bright enough as it is, so I'm not going to paint the inside, save myself a job. So obviously you can see the light box what I've built with the LEDs in. The marquee fits perfectly on top of that, and obviously with the light switched on, shines through beautiful. I've now just got to secure the marquee onto the box. So I've bought like some angled edging strips, which I've now got to cut like and picture frame it basically to hold it onto the box. And then obviously I'm going to paint the box black. But so far so good. Right, so we've now made the edging to fit around the outside of the box, so it's just got to be fixed together now. So basically you can see the box there obviously, so all I've got to do is put the marquee on top of the box, and then to hold that in position we just use the edging to picture frame the box to hold the marquee on it, like so. And once it's fixed on, it should be perfect. Obviously got to paint it up next. I'm going with black. I mean, there is a compromise in the fact that we've lost the very edge of the marquee, but there was absolutely no way around that. But you know, I'm more than happy with that. Looks good. On to painting now. So there we have one finished light box aside from painting. I'm quite pleased with it, I've got to say. I think it's come out pretty well. As you can see, I've picture framed the marquee on the box, so it's made the front of the box obviously a bit bigger than the back of the box. So for it to stand straight, all I've done is I've put the remaining offcut I've got of the beading on the back, so the box now sits straight because it's got the same beading on the front as it has at the back. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. I think once painted up, it should look the doggy's dangly bits. So, garage update. Now we've got the cab finished, I'm starting to move on and progress, and I've managed to pouch a bit of room off the wife's side of the garage. So it's basically this kind of area. We've got this area where I've put the wife's kind of workbench, if you like, and storage. Just got TVs stashed on the workbench at the moment. Still got to put some shelving up on the wall. But this area here is compromised, unfortunately, because we've got the electric meter and fuse box, and we've also got plug sockets, the light switch, you know, we've got the mains cable. It's an awkward area, so I've managed to pouch this area anyway, and I've decided to build another cabinet, but it is compromised because of all the electric meter and wiring and plug sockets and all that kind of stuff. So like I say, I'm building a cabinet, but it's compromised because, you know, it's got to be built with the restrictions that all that brings with it. So it's not going to be like a full-size cabinet. It's kind of going to be sort of a 3/4 high cabinet, if you like, and then the TV sort of stroke monitor is going to sort of sit on top and not going to be housed within the cabinet, because I've got to leave access to the plug sockets, light switch, and obviously the electric meter and fuse box. So I'm kind of building it sort of, well, it's all out of my head, but it's just kind of trial and error, really, what I can fit in, and also to enable me to do what I want to do, because I'm building like an upright arcade driving cab. So whoops, that was my hand on the lens, sorry about that. As you can see, I've put the framework in, and I've got this area here is where the steering wheel is going to attach, and I've obviously put some shelves underneath to house the consoles that are going to run it. I'm obviously going to put, you know, sides and a front on like a normal cabinet, and then these brackets here that you can see, that's what's going to hold the monitor, and above that there's going to be no cabinet, it's just going to be the monitor, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So up to that point it's going to be like a cabinet, and yeah, that's the stage we're at the moment. We've sort of built the basis, and like I said, the steering wheel's going to attach there, space for a couple of consoles, and then I don't know, maybe games, or I don't know, spare steering wheel perhaps, because I'm gonna run 2 consoles in here so I can switch between. Not quite finalised yet. I have tested it, so I know it works within the space that I've got. So that's the stage we're at the moment. Got to sort of make the sides and the front next, really. So, cabinet 2 update. We're making progress. As you can see, it's now partially painted. Not got the sides on, obviously, though I have made them now. So you can sort of see, how it's going to be sort of cabinet up to the bottom of the TV, and then the TV's kind of exposed on its own, really. I suppose similar to a kiosk, really, or something like a crazy taxi cab, perhaps. So yeah, it's coming on. I have made the sides, as you can see. So painting those next is the next job. And so you can sort of see the profile, what sort of shape the sides are going to be, and that's going to come up to the bottom of the TV. So it's going to be cabinet up to, well, just slightly above there actually. So you can sort of see what it's hopefully going to look like. Should make a massive difference once I've got the sides on. And so that's the end of that update. So as you can see, the light box is finished, all painted black, and I've got to say I'm reasonably happy with the results, to be honest. You can see the wire poking out the side there, but you can sort of see how I've picture framed it, and I've put another piece on the back so it's level, and yeah, looks pretty good. I'm really pleased with it. The question now is where to put it, because I was all set to put it on top of the cabinet, sort of here, which does look quite good, I think. But you can also see I've put some outrun artwork on the wall to sort of complement the cab, and I put the old VCR combi on the top, so I can watch the old VHS tapes. As you can see, we've got a stash of them down there. So yeah, I can watch VHS in here while I'm messing about. Yeah, so it's a question of whether to put the light box here on top of the cab or mount it on the wall up there, because if you've seen on Instagram, I've got this bad boy, which is a Outrun 2 SP marquee off, from an original arcade cab. Saw this listed on eBay and immediately thought, right, that needs to be mine. It was collection only, obviously, because it's quite big. It's probably 3 foot long. Might be more than that actually, it might be 4 foot. As you can see, it's from above the sit down Outrun 2 cab. So I thought it might be quite nice if I mounted my original Outrun marquee sort of next to it and have them sort of next to one another. So that's kind of my quandary at the moment. And there she is, lit up, looking magnificent in my opinion. A beautiful marquee. I know it's my favourite game, but irrespective of that, I think the marquee itself is just beautiful. So yeah, the quandary really is to have it on top of the cab there, which does look nice, or put it up there so as it's in line with that bad boy. I'm kind of favouring that option at the moment, I must be honest. I just got to put a shelf up there to sort of, I probably wouldn't put it at the same level, I'd put it slightly higher so it was you know, because it's a smaller marquee. I think I'd put it up sort of more in the middle of the Outrun 2 marquee. But that's currently my thinking. I think I'm going to put it higher up the wall, in line with the Outrun 2 marquee.